Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Let's check out the new Joe Biden ad, the first ad of 2024. I'm going to run it all the way through. It's a minute long, and then I'm going to run it through again and critique it a little bit and tell you what I think it really, truly means.
I've made the preservation of American democracy the central issue of my presidency. I believe in free and fair elections and the right to vote fairly and have your vote counted. There's something dangerous happening in America. There's an extremist movement that does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy. All of us are being asked right now, what will we do to maintain our democracy? History's watching. The world is watching. And most important, our children and grandchildren will hold us responsible. The Vice President and I have supported voting rights since day one of this administration, and I ask every American to join me in this cause. America is still a place of possibilities where the power resides with we, the people. That's our soul. We are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
First critique, first impressions, and I'm going to run it through little by little and critique it. They focus on, air quotes when I say this, voting rights. What they're talking about is flooding the United States with mail-in ballots. That is the key. Remember, during COVID, they used the premise in 2020 of just mailing out unsolicited ballots. Even the Europeans, as liberal as they are in Western Europe, refuse and do not use mail-in ballots because of its security and the problems that could very well develop. Flooding your country with ballots in every major city in the United States, especially where there's huge housing projects where hundreds of ballots are stuffed in mailboxes, unaccounted for. You know, nobody asked for the ballot. That's my first impression. My second impression is they're making it so that every Trump supporter, the so-called MAGA Republicans, are extremists. And with the video where they show the noose in front of the Capitol, January 6th, and ballots, mail-in ballots, are all they have left. They know they can't get President Trump in the legal system. They're doing everything in their power. When are people going to wake up? So let's play it a little bit and we'll comment along the way.
I've made the preservation of American democracy the central issue of my presidency.
Preservation of democracy. So what you do is you take the former president, even if he wasn't the former president, the Republican nominee that's ahead by far, by leaps and bounds, 40, 50 points above every other Republican in a primary, and try to take him off the ballot and take away your right to pick and choose who you want to represent you. That sound very democratic to you?
I believe in free and fair elections and the right to vote fairly and have your vote.
And there's the drop-off box. And a woman just praying that the evil Republicans don't win.
Counted. There's something dangerous happening in America.
No, the tiki torches. Remember them? The tiki torches. And white supremacists. These are the new Republicans, according to Joe Biden. Anybody that supports Donald Trump or any Republicans that align themselves with Trump are the new white supremacists. Well, the funny part is DEI, equity, all those things that Biden, the Democrats, push hard at the elementary school level all the way through colleges is racism, period. This is deflection on a scale that's unprecedented, at least in my mind, in my lifetime, and I'm 67. Let's listen on.
There's an extremist movement and does not share the basic beliefs in our democracy.
There it is there. They got to show that, of course. The noose. It's symbolic. It's probably incredibly poor taste, but still, nonetheless, they said this is an insurrection led by Trump. Well, it's the worst insurrection in human history, number one. And number two is this is in medieval Europe where you take over the castle, so now you're the government. We take over the Capitol building, we now install our government. It's a coup of a third world country. It's a lie. It's a lie. It takes deflection to a whole new meaning.
All of us are being asked right now, what will we do to maintain our democracy?
And there it is. Vote, 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 vote. It's the mail-in ballots. The unsolicited ballots as per 2020 is their only hope. Their only hope.
History's watching. The world is watching. Most important, our children and grandchildren will hold us responsible. The Vice President and I have supported voting rights since.
We've supported voting rights. Who doesn't support voting rights? Republicans aren't against voting rights. You have to make it secure. You have to make it so people that are registered. You have to make it so that people want an absentee. It's requested, not automatically sent tens of millions of ballots out. That all of a sudden, in late hour of election day, hundreds of thousands of ballots show up. This has to stop. Even if, and that's even if is a huge if, all those ballots were legitimate, it casts a shadow on the integrity of the elections of the United States. And there's no better way to unravel a country than doing that. Now, if you noticed, they didn't show one picture from the border. They didn't say, we're bringing in the people that looking for freedom and vote in fair elections from around the world. They didn't even touch it because the border crisis, the open border that we have, is a huge sore on their campaign. It's amazing to me. And if you notice one thing also of the first ad of 2024, they didn't touch on the economic issues 1 second. Nothing to do with migration, illegal or otherwise, and nothing to do with economics. All they focused on was voting rights, voting rights, voting rights. That if you can't just sit in your living room and be so damn lazy that you can't even fill out an absentee that you requested, we're going to send you one anyway. Well, that puts in jeopardy the integrity of the election. And let's be perfectly frank. Do you really want people voting in your local, state, and national elections that could care less so badly about who represents them in the local, state, and federal government that they won't even get their asses off the chair and go down and vote? That you can vote without an ID. You can't do anything in this world without an ID. Anything. It's amazing to me. Truly amazing. Let's watch the rest.
Day one of this administration, and I ask every American to join me in this cause. America is still a place of possibilities where the power resides with we, the people.
Now, you notice they showed that picture of the military. Didn't mention the Afghanistan withdrawal that cost billions and billions of dollars and 13 American lives. And here we had the 1920 suffragettes for women's right to vote. Nobody's calling that into question. The evil mega Republicans. And also you notice something too. They've learned a lesson, at least in part. They didn't mention President Trump once. Not even his name, not even a photograph in an instant of him. They've learned that lesson. We're going to have to see if they continue to learn it. Because in 2016, the mainstream media, which is ultra left, gave Donald Trump $1 billion worth of free advertising.
That's our soul. We are the United States of America. There is nothing beyond our capacity when we act together. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
And there you have it. Dumb and Dumber. If somebody just 10 years ago, we'll say 2007, the year before Obama was elected, and somebody showed you this picture and said, this is the current Vice President Kamala Harris and the current President Joe Biden, you would have laughed your behinds off. There's no way that's possible. There's no way that's possible. Between the two of them, they're lucky to have 50 brain cells. It's amazing to me. And all because of the evil Republicans and Donald Trump, whose name they never use. This is the opening salvo. If you saw in there, not that it matters to me and not that it matters to conservative people, but the Democrats and progressives, look at the people that were in the ads. 90% of them non-white. I could care less what your skin color is, but that's the hill they're dying on. Excluding white people and Republicans as Americans is what they're doing, in essence. Yeah, they threw one or two in just for the heck of it, so they couldn't say it was 100% non-white. This was purposely done. And like I said, conservative people don't give a good damn what your color is. But Democrats do, because they think that people that look a certain way should act a certain way. And that, folks, is racism by definition. So here we are, the first ad. Well, it's the opening salvo. 2024 is going to be the most consequential year for the country that I live in since I was born. And I was born in 1956. I think the assassination of John F. Kennedy and maybe a couple others along the way were huge impacts on the nation's future. But this voting season is a turning point like no other. I think this is a turning point like the 1860 election. Now, I don't think there's going to be a civil war because of the election, but they're going to plant people, they're going to cause damage. They're going to have one person cause chaos or disrupt a parade or kill several people that's going to be connected somehow, some way to a MAGA Republican. Almost every single mass shooter in the United States in the last 2 years has been a left-leaning Democrat. Every single one, to my knowledge. And not a peep is said. You're going to see one or two people. There's always one or two lunatics. They will do something stupid. And they will become the poster children for the MAGA Republicans. What they're telling you is this. Half of the voting people in the United States, U.S. citizens, are evil MAGA Republicans. Remember that when you go vote. And until next time, goodbye and good luck.